Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Isaac here at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and today I have definitely one of my favorite paint jobs and a bike that has some of the perfect customization done to it. This is your pre-owned Harley-Davidson 2023 Anniversary Edition Softail Heritage. So when I say this is one of my this is a bike that has some of my favorite customization done to it, there's something on this bike that that looks so good you might have thought it was stock, and that's these white walls. So this is a 2023 Harley-Davidson 120th Anniversary Edition Softail Heritage. It's a 114 Milwaukee 8, decked out in this gorgeous anniversary red, heirloom red, with these bronze accents over it, and a little bit of red and some really fine details. I mean, this is, of all the Softail Heritage bikes, this might be one of my favorite. And now, previous owner, they did a little bit of customization to it. Nothing crazy, but just the right things to really make this bike right where it should be. And what they did was they went ahead and put white wall tires on it, because, I mean, look at that red and white. That's a good contrast. That really makes this bike. We could just stop there, but they also did a couple of the other minor things. So you got Cobra slip-ons to really give it that Harley rumble, and then just a nice simple engine guard just to help give the bike a little bit better protection. Other than that, that's pretty much it so far as modification goes. I mean, that's really all you had to do. Now, since it is a Heritage, it's got a couple really great features. And this little heel shifter over there. It's got a couple really great features. So it's got full-length fenders, so you get those touring benefits and dresser styling. But it's still classic, so you still have some extra chrome. You've got these spoked wheels. So I mean, it looks old school, but it has all the modern performance of, a Milwaukee 8 with fuel injection, cruise control, and beautiful things like that. So great touring benefits too. So you've got this quick detached windshield for the colder months and those highway traveling days, and you've got these floorboards, big brake pedal, you've got these passing lights, you've got bright LED headlight there too. You got cruise control, like I said. You've got the switch for the fog lights. Since this is anniversary edition on this top clamp, this bike is number 1,138 out of 2,000. So only 2,000 of these bikes were made. You have the center-mounted console, the asymmetrical tanks, and just the gas cap on the right. Look at this emblem. That's hot. And then another beautiful thing about this bike is all this red leather in here. So you've got this on the center, little strip here on the tank, and on the seat, and the passenger seat, and these bags. Now, one thing about these bags is I love the new Softail bags, or at least the new, compared to the older Heritage bags that were just leather. They, over time they'd all collapse in. This has that classic leather look, but it's lockable, easy open, and it's got this hard plastic liner, so it's actually pretty secure, holds its shape, and is fantastic and lockable. Now, another thing you can do is you can put a little backrest here if you want to. I think it looks like it has the rear bushing. I'm not sure if that's the actual bushing for the front or not, but easy to do. And then you have your center mounted license plate, and you have a brake light and turn signal combo here in the rear, and it is smoked out to really help it blend in a lot better. I think that is aftermarket. I'll go ahead and show you what these four-ways look like. Oh yeah, sounds good. Show you what these lights look like. So you've got classic incandescent on the front, looks pretty good. Just gives it a little bit of class. Then the rear, that's really what I like, is how they were smoked out a little bit to match that brake light, but they're also still nice and bright and red. So they look good. It's a sharp looking bike. And it sounds good too. Listen to those Cobras. Oh yeah, that's a Harley-Davidson right there, ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and check this bike out. And again, this bike does have ABS. It's letting us know right there, and that should cut off once we get rolling. So let's get rolling. This bike handles so good. But we did a recording on a trike here pretty recently, and we were talking about the trike and how a lot of folks have recently been doing, if they really don't feel like they can ride two wheels like their old Ultra, their old Bagger, then they start to get on a trike. But one of the great recommendations besides going to a trike is to try a light touring bike like the Heritage. I mean, the Heritage is perfect for that. it's got so many great features. And when you're a bike that's this light, this easy to whip around, that just makes it so good for so many different riders. You know, so for newer riders, they could definitely enjoy this bike. I mean, it's a classic cruiser. It's definitely got a little bit of power, but nothing too crazy. But it's still a lot of fun to learn on. Still a lot of fun to enjoy. And it's got a pretty decent amount of lean, and it's got an okay amount of lean. I'll show you here in this first corner. And it does a 114 pull. Yeah, it's a light Softail chassis. She's going to pull. Pretty stable too. Quick little head check. Yeah, this bike does just fine. It does just fine. I'm in 5th gear, 70 miles an hour. If I need to go ahead and get ahead of traffic, just run it up, or I can drop it down to 4th if I got to pass another 3 cars, you know. This windshield is great. It's going over just enough of my head too, so I'm really not getting any buffeting. I mean, this is nice. I've got cruise control. Like I said, it's a touring bike, so I've got cruise control. This engine guard has a little flat spot on top, so I can put my feet on top of it if I don't want to have them on the cozy floorboards. And I can just sit back and relax. The only downside to this seat is that I don't believe you can put a backrest on with this seat. And as beautiful as this seat is, you really hate to take it off, you know? You hate to get rid of it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's great. It's a cable clutch, hydraulic brake, classics. And I can see a lot of good information on this screen too. So you'll see, I can see my miles on the bike, which this bike's just over 9,000. Right now it's 9,327, but we're gonna add just a few more to that. There's little bars there, my fuel gauge. There's my trip A, my trip B, my fuel range. 75 miles left based on those 2 little bars and how the bike's been ridden in the past. That's pretty good. My time and my RPMs. So I can see that I am idling around that 800 to 910 range, somewhere in there. And another nice thing that always is on the screen besides my fuel gauge is what gear I'm in. So, but the bike has to be moving and the clutch disengaged to see that. So when I have the clutch out and the gear is fully engaged, then you'll see that it's in 1, and now it's in number 2 right there. So that is a cluster of sorts, to say the least. It might be stock suspension, but I think it's this seat that's doing so well. The Heritage seats. So the Softail Heritage has always had really good suspension. I mean, really good for touring and comfort. But the seat itself adds a lot to that. Excuse me. The seat itself adds a lot of that. So it's got so much great cushion in it that it takes out a lot of those bumps and really smooths things out. Make sure everybody's stopping. They are. Hey. Look at that beautiful red too. I'm a bigger red guy. Look at that flake in there, the two-tone, a little bit of bronze, chrome, white, all mixed together. I'm happy with it. Man. The handle's so nice, so smooth. I can turn my fog lights, my little passing lamps on. I'll leave them on too, since it's Raleigh. And I'd like to be seen a little bit better. Which one thing I love about the Softail headlights is that halo that's on them. So the Softail headlights are nice bright LED, and they've got your high beam, your low beam, and they've got this beautiful real halo around it. And my issue with some halos or what some LED headlights will do, particularly ones that are doing halos. You see a lot in like turn signals, especially. But what they'll do is it won't be really like, it won't be a thick enough cover over it, I think. Do a little bit. That's nice. It won't be a thick enough cover, or the lights will be kind of too spread out, so you'll be able to kind of see the individual LEDs all the way around a little bit, whereas on the Softail one, it's a much cleaner look. So it's a much cleaner halo all the way around. That's one of the things I like about the halo turn signals that Harley offers, because it's a very clean halo, instead of just kind of like the little individual LEDs you can see, you can pick out a lot easier. So I really like that. You know, I really like a lot of the aftermarket headlights, but I mean, that's why I haven't swapped out the stock headlight on my Softail, because I mean, it's not too, for a lot of like late night city riding that I was doing, I really didn't want something too bright, because it, you know, it's kind of annoying to be that guy that making other folks can't see on the road. So I didn't want anything like too crazy bright. But the halo does such a good job of helping me get seen, especially with those brighter turn signals up front. So I really like it. That's why I hadn't swapped it out. And so instead I just added some auxiliary lighting to this curve right quick. Oh yeah, this is it. Where Softails were made to be ripped. Nice and smooth, rips around easy. The locking luggage is a huge perk, and I believe it's still in production. I don't think you can get an anniversary edition though, unfortunately. But there is, or at least there was, a matching Softail Heritage Tor Pack. So it's a Softail Tor Pack rack that you can actually put a little Tor Pack on, mount a Tor Pack to, and you can mount one that has the same style of leather and the same studding like this on it, so it matches the rest of the luggage on a Heritage really, really well. I don't think there's one that has this red in, unfortunately, but just the black would look plenty good, I'm pretty sure. So if you need a little bit extra luggage, you got it. So yeah, these bikes are great two up to. You got your little fold down passenger pegs, which are very nice. And you can go ahead and have your passenger cruise along there with you. They'll probably want a backrest when you really get on this bike and show them what a 114 Harley-Davidson has to offer. And there is a lot it brings to the table. If you hadn't ridden one yet, then you might be surprised. Oh yeah, man, this thing just runs right up. It's so much fun. Beautiful fall day like this. I mean, this might be our cover photo right here. This is the Softail Heritage. Such a fun bike. Such a good bike to go rip. We might actually get that photo. Yeah, this red's absolutely gorgeous. Huge fan. Big chrome guy too. I mean, I love the blacked out trim on some bikes, but I think it's fun and it's cool on a lot of bikes. But there's just something about chrome, you know, something about a chrome Harley-Davidson that just does it for me. You know, it's just the right amount of classic, you know. Like seeing some lowrider S's and STs that people have kind of chromed out, it just looks so good. Because now a lot of bikes are blacked out, so a little bit of chrome is different. You know, now it makes them stand out a little bit more. It gives it that little bit more classic flair. So, because I really like that blend of, you know, modern performance, classic looks, classic aesthetics. So, which is what a lot of Harley-Davidson has kind of started, which is what a lot of Harley-Davidson is. I mean, it's, there's a lot of nostalgia that comes with a bike like this one. You know, that's so much chrome, and I mean, this bike is literally called the Heritage. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious what this bike is going for here. which if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out and going to go look it up. We'll stop. Bus ran it. Bus was not going to be able to stop. On this we could stop though. I think my favorite trees, look at those things. I think they're up here. I might be just too late in the season, or too early in the season to catch them. Yeah, they're still turning a little bit up here. Highly recommend taking a stroll down Western Boulevard soon, once these lights change. Or not once these lights change, once these leaves change a little bit more. Because I know some early mornings, light coming through these guys right here really makes all this yellow pop. Very gorgeous. Raleigh is a very pretty city, especially, most of it anyway, especially in the fall. Man, it's just absolutely gorgeous in some areas. So definitely need to go check that out. So we've touched on it a little bit, but we really want to talk about who this bike is for. So what's the type of rider that's really going to enjoy a bike like the Heritage? And as we were saying, you know, really when the bike is this light, this easy to whip around, you know, and has this much power and so many different applications, I mean, it becomes such a good bike, such a good all-arounder for really any type of rider. I mean, these bags, there's no, you know, like when you take the saddlebags off a Street Glide, you have that bracket underneath. You don't have that with this bike. Granted, they're not quick detach. You do still need some hardware to pull these bags off, but you can pull the bags off on this windshield. You can pull the bags off on this bike relatively easy. Minor tools, and then you can pull the windshield off, and then you have this kind of stripped down but dressed up cruiser. They look pretty good. I know I've seen some folks throw duals on them and, you know, really kind of murder them out, and they look pretty sick. I've seen some Cholo builds on the Heritage. There's so many different options you can do with it. You know, so you can kind of just whip this bike around Raleigh and around the city, and it does great. And as we saw out on the highway, I mean, it's Softail, so I mean, it's very planted still. And it's got, you know, your windshield and your bags, so I mean, you can tour on this bike and spend the whole week on this bike if you wanted to. It's a great option for that. So this becomes a bike that really, and it's got great power, lean, performance. So you could, so just about any rider could have a lot of fun on this bike. I think every rider could have a lot of fun on this bike. So new riders, it's light enough, you know, it's forgiving enough that I don't think a new rider would really have any issues learning to ride on this thing. Returning ride, I mean, people that have been riding for a while, for a long time, I mean, they're also going to enjoy it. Because it's just, you know, if you have a little bike or a big bike, I mean, it's just so much fun to whip around and so good at doing what it needs to, you know. And then kind of retiring riders that are, you know, bigger two-wheel bikes are getting to be a little bit much. This one's fantastic. It does such a good job. It does such a good job everywhere. So that kind of wraps up, that does wrap up our ride review of this 2023 Harley-Davidson Anniversary Edition Softail Heritage. So thank you all for riding along with us, and we appreciate you sticking around, and we hope you really like this bike as much as we do, and highly encourage you to come check this thing out. So in the meantime, ride safe, and we hope to see you out here soon.